Hey everybody, Andreas here with another quick video. Today I wanted to basically showcase how you can install your own local open source AI no-code builder. And today I want to show you how to install Bolt.DIY, which is basically the open source version of Bolt.new, which is a very famous AI builder. So the whole process is very simple. So I'll go ahead and see basically what Bolt.DIY does. First of all, the good thing is that you can basically add your own API keys and select your own API provider, grab your key, paste it immediately here, and basically have access to way more AI models that you can tinker with. So it's actually pretty cool. And then you basically have a very standard vibe coding tool experience. You can download your project. Specifically, Bolt.DIY supports Docker as well, which is cool. And also, as you can see, you have OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Grok, all the famous ones, and a lot of others. I personally am going to use OpenRouter, but as you can see, you can use a ton of AI providers to achieve that. So currently, the best way or the way that I used in order to install Bolt.DIY was I went ahead to their GitHub repo, which is github.com/labs/bolt.diy. And instead of basically cloning the repo manually, I clicked on this quick installation button. And then this goes to the latest release. And then if you scroll down, you will basically find in the assets area a couple of installations. In my case, because I'm using Mac, I downloaded the .dmg file here, Bolt local, and you just follow a simple macOS installation. Now, one of the issues in a very simple error, which once you basically drop your file inside, your file inside, let me open up the actual, there it is. So a classic installation, you drop this inside. In some cases, once you double click the Bolt local application inside your applications folder, you might get an error that the file is damaged. So in order to fix this, you need to run this simple command to your terminal. In my case, it's basically a security quarantine. That's what it says, that macOS establishes to this app. In my case, it didn't really work running this because I feel like you need to specify the correct file name that Bolt.DIY adopts once it's being downloaded. So in my case, it just opened up Visual Studio Code, an AI editor, and I was like, please locate the Bolt.DIY file and execute the following command properly. And I basically pasted this command. Once I did this, it actually worked. So that's why I'm showcasing this. And what you will get is basically this starting screen, very similar to Bolt.new. And as you can see, you have your providers here. I chose OpenRouter, but you have Amazon Bedrock, Anthropic, Cohere, DeepSeek, blah, blah, blah. And you can also choose your model. In my case, I was tinkering with it. I really feel like Anthropic Claude 3.7 Sonnet Thinking is a very good model. It's not a free one. Another couple ones that were good was Sky Alpha, for example, or you can use DeepSeek V3. The one is free. This one is very cheap. But in my case, I just enjoy Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It's not the cheapest one, but it's very, very good and effective at producing very well, coherent, and properly stylized front end. So that's why I prefer it. So let's give it a go and let's see with a properly structured prompt what Bolt.new will give us. And then using the same prompt, I want to see what Bolt.local is going to provide for us. Just like as a small test to see which one is going to perform better. So in this scenario, I went ahead and produced the following prompt. Basically, the idea is that we want to build an AI chatbot landing page in order to promote our new SaaS product, which is an AI chatbot. So you're building a production-ready landing page. The context, it's an AI chatbot platform. Target customer success teams and product managers. Goal, free chatbot installations. Here are some required components: navigation, hero, social proofs, feature grid, interactive demo, footer links. And then I specify the stack. I want you to create a React and Tailwind landing page with the following structure. The name of the brand is Echo, for example. So add the navbar with the following modals in the navbar for templates, pricing, resources, dashboard link, CTA button to install the free bot. And I'm basically explaining the whole landing page structure. If you're interested in the template, I feel like it works well, at least with Claude 3.7 so far, because I've done a couple of tests. So I'm pretty confident it's going to work very well. If you are interested in the template, I can drop it as well, or I can share it. Let me know. So let's hit enter. And then I'm going to do the same here for Bolt.new. And I'm going to see how maybe same or different the two outputs are going to be. So I'll be right back in a couple of seconds and we will discuss the differences or similarities together. So now first, here's the Bolt.new generation, which is honestly a very simple one. Everything is very well structured. The prompt itself was a very simple, in quotes, prompt because our goal was to basically establish a good front end for our landing page in order to then basically refine it elsewhere, etc., etc. So it has everything that the landing page needs. Of course, you can go ahead and refine further in Bolt as well. But I just wanted to show you how one-shot prompt can basically get you to a very cool point. I can also see that it basically acts as a template. I think I prompted it that way to basically act as a template in order to follow a more simple layout and give a chance to the design system and the overall branding to shine and be more correct without troubling it a lot. But as you can see, you have quote-unquote some mockups here with an AI bot. So this is actually pretty cool that it demoed this in one single prompt. So now without further ado, I'm going to basically hit enter using the same prompt inside Bolt.DIY and see how it's going to look. And here we are on Bolt.DIY's generation. And as you can see, it's very similar, but it has its own twist. I can see a more unified componentization, especially here with this cool newsletter input that ties together with the input label. We have the same kind of section here, a very similar chatbot that I feel like it's demoed as well. Yeah, I feel like it's awesome. Everything looks very clean. All the navbars work perfectly. You have a nice effect here in the navbar. The footer is very concise, very structured. Again, this is a very simple prompt. I use it as a starter prompt to get a good foundation. And then, of course, you can refine further. I wouldn't really go outside of Bolt.DIY or .new yet because I feel like they can really handle refinements. But the cool thing about Bolt.DIY in our case is that you can deploy if you want through Vercel or Netlify or Cloudflare that's coming soon, which is amazing. You can also view the code, or where was it? There was an area where you could download the code, but I cannot find it now. Give me a moment. So if you go from preview to code, you can see that you can also sync or export your current build. Syncing means that you might have dropped an already established build that you edited here and you want to sync it, or you want to push your changes to GitHub. But you can also download this code as it is and refine further into a tool like Klein, Cursor, Windsurf, whatever. So this is pretty much how it runs and how I use it. So a couple of things to remember. This is the official GitHub repo, StackBlitz Labs, Bolt.DIY. You go to releases and then based on your operating system, you download the correct setup manual installation file, or else you can just clone the repo if you are more experienced and follow a more manual process. Everything exists inside the repo, so it's pretty cool. For your API keys, if you are not very familiar, I would honestly start with either Grok or with OpenRouter if you're not very familiar with how APIs and API keys work for AI models. Those two are, to me, one of the easiest ones. I use them still because I'm a beginner when it comes to APIs and API management. I'm dipping my toes like pretty recently. So you just create an account, you go to the keys area, you create a new API key, test, for example, and boom, you have your API key. You of course load your account with some credits, you add some billing info in order to be able to be credited for the usage. And then once you are inside Bolt.DIY, all you have to do is go back to the homepage and basically trigger this and add your proper API key here. If you're using OpenRouter, if you're using Grok, etc., etc. So this is pretty much it about the video and Bolt.DIY. If you want to see more content being built using Bolt.DIY, or maybe using Bolt with some other model or with some combination of models, please let me know. I would love to use it more. And besides that, I also run a free school community called AI Design Club. So if you are a designer that wants to learn how to utilize AI in their design workflow, especially when it comes to UI, UX, front-end, branding, graphic design, then this is a spot for you. And I would love to have you in my community so that we can share ideas, build together, experiment more. And we are already growing. We have a few more new members that are joining, and I'm very excited. So yeah, if you are interested, please feel free to follow. It's school.com/AI Design Club, as you can see here. And yeah, apart from that, if you want to work closer with me, and if you are a designer that wants to use AI and elevate their workflows, get paid more and get seen more, please book a discovery call. We can either collaborate or go bigger together. So see you in the next one.